Hello and welcome in another episode of Derail Valley, where I'm doing my best to drive virtual locomotives without causing major disaster. Or do I? Anyway, before we begin, I'd like to remind you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that already and follow up with bell button to turn on the notifications and stay up to date with my latest content. So, here we are in another week of Derail Valley. As you may have been informed or as you may know, the game received a first update last week. It was update marked with number. Let me just quickly check it. That's build 81. And there were quite a few changes to the game and gameplay. Most of these changes targeted controls with VR and interactions with the game in VR. They fixed some of the bugs that we could encounter throughout the gameplay, like couplers moving around in its place along the locomotive and stuff like that. So it shouldn't happen right now. It shouldn't, but it still can because obviously it's software development. So various bugs will be encountered, and I've already seen. By the time I've started recording this video, I've already seen on Discord that there were plenty of bugs reported. So bugs still will happen. However, I will highlight few of the changes that were made in this patch, and perhaps we will do some shunting jobs along the harbor, and that is if I can do shunting jobs. Anyway, let's get into the game and let's see what have changed. So, as you probably noticed, the graphics haven't changed much. So that's good. The game still looks as it used to be. Maybe it's not the most beautiful graphics in the world. This is still, I think it's a Source engine, if I remember correctly, or it might be some different engine. Anyway, the engine is not that bad, so it still looks as it used to be. The graphics for some people is questionably beautiful and questionably ugly. So it's up to you, your personal preference in that case. I like it personally. It's not bad, it works as intended. Anyway, let's get into the changes. So first of all, a big change is that while you are trying to pick the jobs now, they've added certain new information to the cards with the job description. First of all, the job now tells you how many pickups or drop-offs you may encounter throughout this job. So it says 3 pickups, and probably this train is split into 3 parts, and I need to find each part, assemble it, and then get it into loading bay, load it, and eventually put it back into proper position. So that is good. That is a nice change. Uh, right, what they also changed. Uh, Perhaps one of the famous, or a little bit more famous, well, much more famous than me, YouTuber will be happy to hear that there is a brand new information added to controls booklet at the very front page that says to turn pages, use mouse wheel. So yeah, that is one positive change. Unfortunately, that information appears only on controls booklet, so if you lose it, then you will have to find your controls your way. So turning the pages might be hard in the Derail Valley guide if you don't know how to do it. Anyway, so that's one of the changes. When it comes to Career Manager and Job Validator, there were some changes to the fees and licenses. So at this moment, I can't highlight you any fees because I haven't accumulated any since the patch came out. I just pretty much started the game myself, at least after patch. So what I noticed at the first place, or in the first place, is that positions of every locomotives, wagons, everything got reset. If you had any active jobs, they are gone now. You can scrap them, you can remove the wagons from your way. They are no longer valid. If your locomotive was parked somewhere in the station, it is very likely that it came back to either roundhouse if you were at harbor, or to any other standard starting position for the locomotive on that station. What else? When it comes to license, there are some changes to those as well. Probably and most likely I won't be able to accept shunting jobs anymore. Yes, and as I said, they got denied. Why is that? Well, because developers decided that shunting jobs are too complicated for new players, and now every player has to buy shunting license. The only license that you start with by default is a freight haul license, which lets you, let me just print it off, right, which pretty much lets you deliver cargo between industries from to empty output and input trucks, which means that every time you take a hauling job, your consist is prepared already. You just have to couple it to your locomotive and off you go. And any siding that you have to leave this consist at is supposed to be empty. So that is a valid information for you. You don't have to worry about having like a very long train that you need to squeeze in with a couple of wagons that might be on this siding, because every time you arrive at that station, the siding that you are supposed to leave your consist is empty, or it is supposed to be empty. So that is a very, very good information. Another thing they've changed is that whenever you lose your paperwork with active jobs, you can now reprint them at any job validator. So you just arrive, you realize that you no longer have your paperwork with you, and if you have any active jobs, you can just press this button and it should pop up from the printer. So let's say I don't want to accept any jobs yet, but when I will have any active jobs, I will try to test it out. Right, another things that have changed. So now we need a shunting license. And the biggest and worst change, in my opinion, in this new patch is manual service license, which I have to admit it's pretty expensive. $20,000 for the sheer ability to fix your locomotive for a half price is a little bit excessive. So right now I have to pay 20,000 in order to start saving money, especially that I'm playing on hardcore difficulty. So everything is quite expensive, and as you can see, shunting jobs doesn't really pay much more. I still have to do certain jobs. It will take me 11 minutes. It will use some fuel from the shunter or a steamer if I will decide to use steamer, which is something that we shouldn't do, but I will try to highlight it in a different video. I might do some shunting jobs using steamer anyway. So yeah, shunting jobs should pay a little bit more, but it's not a huge amount of money. Many of them will pay less than $2,000. The problem is that shunter will most likely burn enough fuel to reach that 2,000 while you are doing this shunting job. So yeah, for me, 20,000 at the very beginning, that's something that I need to spend in order to be able to progress in the game. So I don't like this change at all. But well, for a new player that has just started, it might make sense, mostly because that new player won't have a SH282 license, which I already do, and that is increasing my copay by $12,000. A new player won't have what is that, concurrent jobs 1, which is increasing my copay by $7,500. So at this point, if I would like to service my locomotive, I will always pay the double price for such repair, and it just makes no sense for me. So at this point, the best way for me to service my locomotive is to get that bloody license, which I didn't need before. What else? Right, now in order to get a license for steamer, which I already own, that's why I'm not too worried about it in this patch. In order to get a license for steamer, which is SH282, or for DE6, which is that new big diesel locomotive, you first need to get a license for concurrent jobs 2. And without it, you just can't buy it even if you have enough money. And concurrent jobs 2 will cost you a grand total of 30,000, because you first need concurrent jobs 1. And that applies to every other license you want to take. For example, if I want to take Hazmat 3 from the very start, it will tell me that I need to own Hazmat 2 license first. If I will go to Hazmat 2 license first, it will tell me that I need to own Hazmat 1 license before I can buy it. So that is a good guide that the game is giving you when you are trying to do something that you are not allowed to do, even though it might sound logical to buy things as they come across. One bug that I discovered so far is that Military 2 license is just $30,000, while Military 1 costs $100,000. I'm not sure. It is probably some sort of a bug because considering that Military 3 license is hidden behind $400,000 mark, I would expect that Military 2 will cost like $300,000 or perhaps somewhere in between. Anyway, let's now get this ridiculous manual service license, because that's what I'm gonna need to be able to progress, and that's pretty much most of my money gone. I'm not super happy about this, but well, you need to do what you need to do. Right, so now that I got this license, I can also get shunting license for myself, so that I can do shunting jobs as well. There we go. Thankfully this license cost only $1,000, which is half of the starting money, just to let you know. So when the player starts a new game, it gets $2,000 in his pocket. A good thing that is a good information also for new starters: when you start the game, your insurance copay, which you have to pay in order to service locomotive from now on until you get the license that I just got, will be just $100. So until you get any other license than just starting license that you get from the tutorial, you will pay only $100 for every repair, for pretty much anything. So you can do or cause a total havoc around the map, and all you have to pay is just a mere $100. So yeah, if we want to cause any sort of catastrophe to make the video look better, I will perhaps start a brand new game, go through a tutorial, which should take me about 5 to 10 minutes, and off I go. I can go and smash some hazmat wagons to cause those cool explosions. Anyway, we now can accept some shunting jobs. So I'm tempted to actually do some some work around the station, I will use Shunter to do so. So that is 2 drop-offs, unload and store train with meat products and dairy products. I need a long license, that's 4.5 grand. Yeah, how much I need to get? Let me just quickly check. Oh yeah, Logistical Haul, which is another type of job, also requires a license that costs 20,000. I never did those jobs, but from what I understand, it is a connection between shunting and freight haul. So you need to shunt your own wagons, and then you need to freight haul them to a different station, and then shunt them around different station as well. So those are pretty much jobs that connects shunting and freight haul all together. Anyway, what I wanted to get is Hazmat 1, which will cost me 40 grand. And unfortunately, yeah, it will be hard to get 40 grand from what I got. I will take this shunting, which is 356 tons, and I will try to find those wagons first. LH80, nope. We need to find those wagons first in order to actually prepare our job. On harbor, it is especially important because if you don't plan your jobs, oh, there we go, we got one of our wagons on this siding. Where is that? Yeah, so that's only one on this siding, which is G6S. Probably those will be another ones. Yeah, HBSL 31. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's another one. And that's another one. And that's another one. So that's already 2 pickup locations, but I'm still missing 1. And the question is, where is that remaining 1? That's a completely different job. I believe that might be the one. LH54, so that's not the job. 54 and 54. So that's not this siding at all. Right, I might be more lucky to find those platforms here. Or maybe those are different types of wagons. Who knows? SL31. Oh, there we go. That is last pickup location, which is right next to loading bay. Is it? Yeah, there are 3 pickups. So, yeah, that should be it. Hopefully that will give me all the platforms I need. Those are 41s. 41s. Right, I'm going to take that risk. So I need to pick this guy as a last one. So I will just reverse into this platform, pick it up, and that's the work done, I believe. Is it? Yeah, it is. So quick planning, is that the right platform? Yeah. So I got one at the back of G6S. Then I got this entire siding. Okay, beautiful. So I can go past this, pick up that one that I need to take. Then I can pick up those 3, which is good. And then I can reverse back from this siding. And how this is going to look? No, I can't do that. Right, what I can do is to pick up that one wagon, attach it directly to these platforms from this side, go past it, take the whole consist from this side, get back here past this junction, reverse back, pick up this lonely platform from here, reverse back, and then put myself here onto loading platform, and that's what we are going to do. I will use Shunter to do so. So there we go. Oh. We are in another Shunter, so I can just double check the switches. All we have to do is to start this bad boy. Let's turn on the cab light so we can see the clocks. This one is released, this one is released. Reverser to the front. And we can now go forward. We are now approaching Wright Junction, which we need to throw. Pick up this one wagon, attach it to this consist, and then reverse the whole thing up. Okay, that's sorted. This guy is stopped. I can throw in the reverser. Oh, wrong switch. There we go. And now I can slowly reverse to take this wagon. 10 km/h. Sounds good. And we can now wait. 2.5 km/h. That sounds reasonable. We still need to stay in the locomotive to apply the brakes. Okay, now I need to apply the brakes. And I can connect this wagon up. I said I can connect it up. Oh, you bastard. Come on. There we go. Okay. Technically, I could get away with going without brakes, but I'm really not sure if I want to risk moving platform car to here to just attach it to the rest of the train. I think I might do that. Okay. There we go. And turn reverser back. Release the brakes. Give it a push. And off it goes. Okay, this wagon should actually join the right consist. I can release the brakes now and go past this junction to approach the consist from the other side. Oops, that was too early. Yeah, just a little bit too early. Just a touch on accelerator. This platform is still rolling towards these guys. I can attach it when I come back. Not a big deal. So I can now throw this junction and send my locomotive to the other side while the wagon is pretty much making contact with the rest of the consist. So I can turn you, I can release the brakes and send my locomotive on its merry way. Right, and in the meantime, I can sort out this guy. Nicely done. Made contact with the rest of the consist. It's all connected now. And I'm on my way. Okay, we are almost there. Now we need to slow down. And let's prepare to apply some braking. That should be enough. We are below 5 km/h. So even if we smack into those wagons, we should be alright. I'm not sure if they will have enough braking power though. Because I effectively... Okay, they do have enough braking power, which is good. Can now attach these guys, connect these guys, and yeah, hose connected, valves are set. Okay, we are ready to go. So let's now release the brakes, set the reverser, Let's give it a bit of a time to pump up the brakes. And we should be ready now. It will give us a little bit of a slowdown because brakes are not fully pumped up, but we are doing pretty good. Okay. Speed is building up. I have to admit that since you can do proper scouting and prepare most of your job up front, shunting is not a big deal. But again, if new players will be forced to do hauling jobs from the beginning, and they will miss out on all that experience coming from shunting, they will never ever learn how to do it correctly, how to make it efficiently. And to be fair, I somewhat get why developers are making shunting jobs locked behind license while hauling jobs are opened, but I think it should be the other way. Players should be forced first to start from some small shunting jobs so they can actually learn all those things, so they can learn how to operate their shunter in a correct way, so they can master those precise controls. And then when they have plenty of time to learn on their mistakes for pretty much cheap price, because insurance copay will cost them almost nothing if they make mistakes during shunting. Then they can start to do some hauling jobs which will pay them more, which will let them actually make some serious money to get higher licenses. I really don't see the reason why I would be locked with doing hauling jobs first. It's like a little bit without any logic for me. But well, those are various opinions, and different people will have different opinion on that matter. Anyway. That's the idea that I personally don't like. However, it's not that bad idea as well. So you can decide on your own. Right. So I'm now trying to preset some switches for myself so I can reverse into loading bay, while at the same time I will accept the job. Oops, I need to release the brakes. There we go. And off we go. We should already have all the wagons that we need for our job. Okay, 20 kilometers per hour. We can now let it coast. Entire consists of 8 wagons, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, how many we need to have? 2, 4, 6, 8. Wait, so we are missing one. Yeah, we are definitely missing one wagon, so this is lying to us, or I forgot to pick up something, or I miscounted them. It is... No, I got 7 wagons attached to my logo. Where is the 8th one? That is the question that I need to answer. 2, 4, 6, 7, yeah. So there is one wagon that I'm missing. Yeah, definitely. I am short by one. Right. In order to save up some money, I need to turn this off and find that remaining wagon. Where is it? That's definitely not the one. You want to tell me that one of these might be the one that I'm looking? No. Well, the job says 3 pickup locations, but I don't believe it anymore. There's definitely more to it. 41. 41. 41. Wait. Oh, you plonker. Okay. Okay, right. You are indeed. Oh my goodness me. Okay, yeah. Oh my goodness me. Okay, right. That is an epic fail. Right, so I need to repeat the last procedure because apparently I've been so busy talking that I connected the wrong wagons. Alright, so let's this time connect the right wagons. I've set everything up. Oof, that was a little bit of a punch, but everything should be okay. I probably didn't damage this one. Let me just connect them. Right. Just double check it. Did I damage anything? No, this one is perfectly fine. Let me just check these ones. They are 100%. Absolutely fantastic. 100%, 100%. Right. No damage is done. Right. So let's now do what we were supposed to do like 3 minutes ago. There we go. I will now engage the brakes. Turn the reverser because I will definitely have to reverse back from this siding. And now let me double check. Yeah, I got the paperwork with me. I don't need to turn the loco off. I'll be back in just a second. So now I can accept this job. So when we got this job, everything is pretty much described the same as it used to be. We are on siding D7L, so we managed to skip a couple of steps. And then we need to put it back on D60, and that's the job completed. We got entire 33 minutes to do so, so that issue wasn't addressed, that you can pretty much do most of the job before it even starts. So I mentioned before that you can reprint your active jobs, and as we already got active job in our hand, right now, yeah, you can pretty much keep reprinting that if you lose it. It doesn't cost you anything, but it disappears from any other place. It appears to also disappear from your hand, so you don't even need to carry this paper with you anymore, because even if you throw it, as you can see, I don't have my job description anymore. So the only difficulty it's gonna give you right now is that if you forget where you have to put your load, then you're pretty much screwed until you reprint your job. But even if you have it in your hand, which I already do, if you reprint it, you no longer have it in your hand. It just resets its position to this validator, which is nice. Right, D60 after we load it. So let's get back to the loading bay. We now need to find this. Oh, there it is. So loader, unloader, and we need to load it. There we go. Yeah, some of our wagons are in the wrong positions. The last two, in fact, are not the ones that we were supposed to plug in there. But it's alright, right? So now we need to put that back into D60. So let's disengage the brake, start reversing, and now we can have a look at station map. So siding D is right next to us. We are pretty much on it. So that's good. We now need to find which one is this. That's probably the siding right next to us. So we need to watch out for these guys. Let's have a look. Yeah, D60. So we don't have to even travel that far. All we have to do is to pull this consist out of this siding and then push it back into D60. We need to bear in mind that at the end of our consist there is another one, so we can't be too harsh with it. Right. We are doing pretty well. I still don't want to go too high and too fast, because in case it doesn't really fit, I don't want to smack into those wagons behind me with like too high speed. I can't see anything right now, so I need to rely on that. So if we get there now, in fact we managed to push those wagons far enough so they won't become an obstacle to the rest of it. Oh yeah, there's plenty of space. Right, so now what I can do, I will apply the train brake to apply brakes in those wagons. And there we go, brake pipe is depressurized. I can now close it, disconnect the wagons, disconnect the pipe. So now the wagons are left with the brakes on. I can reverse from this position, even though I don't have to. I can release independent brake, and I can just slightly push myself out. Okay, independent brake on, loco turned off. I can turn off the cab light, and that's the job done. And unfortunately I will have to repeat that procedure several times more. Oops, I missed the door. Right. So unfortunately I will have to repeat that procedure several times more, because this job yields me only, how much it yields me, yeah, squirrel is happy, $9,139. Yeah, shut up. Where's my, anyway, anything you pick up is alright. So I got $18,285.76, or 76 cents in fact. And if you can see, pretty much $2,394.89 is how much we would have to pay in this career manager for doing this job. And if I would go to the roundhouse, which is just behind the corner, I would pay only half of it. So it is definitely worth it right now. Obviously, if my copay would be $100, I would just pay it right now, because it's much cheaper to pay it that way. But nobody will convince me that at the start of the game, before this patch, it was cheaper to use Career Manager, because even that job, which was quite complicated, cost me, well, a third of my earnings, which is, well, better than we used to have. Yeah, that's over a third of my earnings at the moment. And as we probably remember, one of the shunting jobs I did before yielded me like 2.5 grand, where I had to pay $1,600 to actually fix my locomotive, which left me with pretty much no income at all. Um, so yeah, that's how the game looks right now after the patch. In next episode, I'm hoping to like finish some of those shunting jobs before we can proceed, and hopefully I'm gonna make enough money to obtain some nice license so we can haul some nice cargo far away from this station. Until then, thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you want to get informed about my new content, hit that notification bell button and don't forget to share your comments down below. Have a great day and see you all later. Later. Out.